Karanji, the program is called To The Point, and I'll expect people to remain to the point and not beat about the bush. Like you just had Mr. Khetan not specifying what led Mr. Kejriwal to say that Modi is conspiring to kill him. You know, vague allegations of this kind are preposterous. I don't want to get into that. First, if you have a Jitendra Tomar arrested for fake degrees, you have a Somnath Bharti for wife beating, you have Manoj Kumar for land grabbing, you have Dinesh Monia for molestation.
You're
and
evading the question.
Of women.
Mr. Mittal, you're evading my question.
You know, allow me to, I'm not, you haven't heard my answer. The so-called freedom fighters of Kejriwal ji, are they above law? The fundamental question is...
The question is what about Mr. Modi's 24 ministers facing criminal charges? Are they above the law? What about the 98 BJP MPs facing criminal charges? Are they above the law? Why aren't they being treated the same way?
Sir, the fact that they are facing charges itself shows they are not above law.
But why aren't they being arrested?
The charges are framed against somebody are legal. Karan ji, aapne mere ki baat to sunenge nahi. You know, an allegation is made, let me reply to the allegation, how stupid an allegation it is. The moment there is a charge against a man, obviously a police action is taken against him. That's the only way he can be charged, not otherwise.
But you know, Mr. Mittal, that applies to the 24 ministers who also face charges. It applies to the 98 MPs who also face charges. Why is the police not taking action against them?
Everybody who's charged is only charged after a judicial action has been taken. So what is the complaint? A judicial action has already been taken against people whom they are saying they are charged. So what is the complaint? That they have already been, action has been taken against them. Now when an action is taken against the misdeeds of fraudsters, criminals, of molesters, of land grabbers, you are protesting. You don't want any action to be taken against people indulging in such activities.
Let me put Mr. Mittal's point to you. Mr. Subramaniam,
are you going to support this
I'm going to Mr. T.S.R. Subramaniam, a former chief, a former cabinet secretary.
Also
and a former chief secretary as well, but cabinet secretary is more important. In his YouTube, I was quoting that point, except Arvind Kejriwal didn't restrict himself to just one gentleman. Arvind Kejriwal said in several instances when it had gone to court, it had been thrown out. So I made that point. But let me now ask my question to you. R.P. Singh, a BJP National Secretary, has told today, just a moment, Mr. Mittal, I'll come to you. Gentlemen, please stop interrupting each other, otherwise we will have an uncivilized discussion. Claims that when BJP MLA O.P. Sharma beat up young students outside Patiala House or used derogatory language against Aam Aadmi Party MLA Alka Lamba, no action was taken against him, yet credibly action could have and should have been taken. Again, Raghav Chadha says that when former BJP MLA Karan Singh Tanwar was accused of murder and National Secretary R.P. Singh beat up a DJB engineer, again no action was taken against them. And this is the point. You've got instances where you've leant backwards not to take action against people close to you, but you're using the first opportunity to hit out at the Aam Aadmi Party. Isn't this double standards by the Delhi police? And they come under the central government.
I hope you'll allow me to speak and clarify all what has been said till now. First, I just heard Mr. Ashish Khetan lying with impunity as he always does. Akhilesh Tripathi on 26th November, he was sent to judicial. Now what was the case? The case was for writing 147, 148 and not for molestation. So he lies with impunity. That's not anything new. What is more important? That he says why arrests were made. Do you realize that out of the 11 people who were arrested, here is this list. These are 8 of them who were sent to judicial custody ranging from 4 days to 15 days and more. So when the judicial process takes cognizance and
you're a brilliant politician
custody,
not answering the question the anchor asks you. You're going into great detail to foot Ashish Khetan and therefore very brilliantly, and I applaud you, avoiding the embarrassing question I asked you. Please come back to my question. Why is it that similar action is not taken against BJP MLA O.P. Sharma, former BJP MLA Karan Singh Tanwar, National Secretary R.P. Singh? Why aren't they treated the same way?
Thank you. Sir, thank you, because I hope you'll be again to the point and not beat around the bush. Now let's come to O.P. Sharma. You just heard him saying no action was taken against O.P. Sharma. He was arrested, it is on record. Now, Mr. Karan Singh Tawar, there was no case of murder, so where is the question of accusation of murder? Now, Mr. R.P. Singh, it's a pure lie, figment of their imagination. Now, on the basis of just mere verbosity, which is laced with falsehood and basic malice towards BJP, are you expecting something to be done?
Actually,
There's
Mr. Mittal,
complete falsehood of facts.
Forgive me, Mr. Mittal. R.P. Singh is not a figment of their imagination. If you read today's Times of India, Mr. R.P. Singh himself says, in correction to Raghav Chadha, that he was arrested after being accused of beating up a DJB engineer. So, in fact, you're wrong,
He was
so
arrested.
is Raghav Chadha
No,
wrong.
I stand corrected.
Both you and Raghav
Sir, he
Chadha
was
are
arrested,
wrong.
then what is the charge?
Okay.
What is the charge?
Beating
He was
up a
arrested. O.P.
DJB
Sharma was
engineer.
arrested.
Beating
And there's no
up a
murder charge
DJB
against
engineer.
Karan Singh Tawar. What is the charge?
Beating up a DJB
What is
engineer.
the charge?
I'm telling you, beating up a DJB engineer. Now, let me bring you in, Mr.
And he was arrested.
Absolutely, but you said it was a figment of the imagination,
Then-
and I'm simply correcting you. Now, let me bring in Mr. Subramanian. Mr. Subramanian,
Okay,
of the
he was
11
arrested now, so what is the charge?
I just told you, sir, beating up a DJB engineer. Let's
Sir, he
not
was
keep going around in
arrested.
circles.
I stand
I'm
corrected.
moving on.
I
I'm moving on,
stand
sir.
corrected. He
I'm
was
moving on.
arrested.
Forgive me, with your permission. I've got the former cabinet secretary patiently waiting to be asked a question. Of the you in, Mr. Mittal. You know, the sad part is this, that even as Prime Minister, and mark my words, even as Prime Minister, Mr. Modi hasn't hesitated to make personal attacks. He called Arvind Kejriwal a Naxalite and AK-49, as you've just heard. He said there was something wrong with Nitish Kumar's DNA. He accused the Abdullahs and the Muftis of looting the state, not knowing that he'd soon be in relationship with the Muftis. And earlier during his campaign, when admittedly he wasn't Prime Minister, he called Shashi Tharoor's late wife, Sunanda, a 50 crore girlfriend. So how can Mr. Modi today object if Mr. Kejriwal pays him back in the same coin?
Mr. Thapar, as I said, this is to the point and not of the point. I have this Hindustan Times, Indian Express cover story. It says, anarchist Kejriwal can go to jungle. He never called him a Naxal. So it's a complete lie. Secondly, you said he called Nitish Kumar's DNA. He did not say that. Something wrong in Nitish political DNA. This is
That's exactly what
July
I said.
HT.
You've just repeated my words for me, Mr. Mittal. That's exactly what I said.
You are twisting. There is nothing wrong. There is nothing wrong in this. But what do I hear in response? These are 109. This is, I have a whole list which I'm showing to you. 109 allegations and verbal abuses against Mr. Modi by Mr. Kejriwal, which includes coward, psychopath, mad, Pakistan agent, fraud, paranoid, snooper, corrupt, conspiring to kill me. It is a one-side verbal assault. The latest being what you heard yesterday, that I am insecure because he is conspiring to kill me. I think he just requires security, and the best security can be ensured in only two places. One is a mental asylum, the other is in a jail. He had to make a choice.
You know,
the low narrative which has brought this country to shame is a one-way narrative of Mr. Kejriwal and his party.
Okay.
Chhach bole so bole, yahan to challi bhi bolti hai. Everybody, right from Manish Sisodias to the likes of everybody, are using such foul language. I think they have lost the basic respect to polity.
Now, I'm going to stop you there. I'm going to
the
stop you
words
there,
which
Mr. Mittal. I have other guests who have a right to speak on this as well.
I'm not defending the Prime Minister.
Come back to my question. What example are these two gentlemen setting to the world who's watching?
Awful. Awful. I think in a democracy,
Mr. Thapar,
you
on
should...
television, you have no right to speak falsehood.
I beg your pardon, what did you say?
And I'm showing you verbatim.
No, that
he
is-
did not call him a Naxal.
Mr.
He
Mittal.
did not call him a Naxal.
Mr. Mittal.
Calling him an anarchist is not calling him a Naxal.
Mr. Mittal.
So please don't twist.
I'm not twisting, Mr. Mittal. You've got one newspaper in front of you. There are others there as well. Now, I'm putting you off screen because there are other newspapers as well. You're relying on one. There are others that give different versions, and you and I are not in a position to say which is the correct one. Come back.
2 points. You can't compare the state of India, like to Pakistan, terrorizing the people of Delhi as if the only guardian of Delhi is Kejriwal. It's the union territory, it belongs to the whole of India.
But that's a different issue, Mr.
It is the same issue.
Mr. Subramanian,
It's the same
it's a
issue.
different issue.
It's the same issue.
I'm talking about the spectacle that these two constitutional authorities are making.
It is awful, it is terrible, it is unacceptable. I think, why is the media giving so much importance to somebody
Because Chief Minister's...
He is not a chief minister.
Chief Minister, well, forgive me, he is a chief minister.
He is certainly,
He is a chief, but he may not be for you.
only by courtesy, only by huge political mistake, a courtesy. It is not a state.
Forgive me.
It is inferior to your corporation.
Mr. Subramaniam, you're a former cabinet secretary.
It is not so
He
legally.
constitutionally
Go to the court now. Go to Supreme Court and get it done. Go to Supreme Court
Thank
and
you.
get a ruling.
You've made your point. It's clearly a prejudicial point. I'm going to stop you and move on. In the eyes of this country, he is an official, legal, elected chief minister.
You are not suspicious about 109 allegations.
Just a moment, Mr. Mittal. You must allow other guests a chance to speak. It's only fair. Particularly when all the others seem to be on your side. You're not even alone. You can't hog the airtime. You're not alone today. Both Mr. Sehgal and Mr. Subramanian are with you. Now, Mr. Gentlemen, we are behaving like Arvind Kejriwal and Narendra Modi rather than commenting on their behavior.
Not fair. Not fair.
Don't bring Prime
Not
Minister.
fair.
He does not behave that
Not
way.
fair.
Mr. Sehgal.
Don't compare rotten apples with the
Not fair.
oranges.
Mr. Sehgal, I'm trying very hard to speak to you.
Mr. Thapar, it's a one-way war. We are not at war with them. We only believe in the Constitution and we are discharging our constitutional responsibilities. And so accusing us, and I expect you 109 allegations in this short a while. I think if any suspicions are raised, let us raise suspicions on what he talks.
If I can interpret your answer, Mr. Mittal, you two are suggesting things are going to get worse before they get better. And it's a rather sorry situation.
I'm not even suggesting. I am saying the law will take its own course. The Constitution shall be followed. And I expect the Delhi government under leadership of Mr. Kejriwal to follow the Constitution. And
All
that's
right,
about
gentlemen,
it.
we've run right out of time.
Law.
Everyone talks
His
about
MLAs
the
are not above
Constitution,
law.
everyone talks about morality and propriety, but unfortunately, when they start speaking, the language that comes out of their mouths is sometimes very different. But there's no doubt in my mind that never before have I heard a chief minister suggest that the Prime Minister could kill him. That is clearly a shameful low moment, and I can't believe there is any justification for that. And I'm sure, in cool reflection, Mr. Kejriwal will regret that comment. My thanks to all my guests for joining me. Goodbye. Good night.